Have you ever wondered what makes a great monologue or what makes a great performance? Well, in this video, I am going to show you techniques that will help you wow those judgy directors and help you make them bow and kiss your feet.
Now bow before the prince and kiss my feet!
Selecting a monologue can be a difficult task, and especially if that monologue is for auditions. Now, your audition might require you to send in a self-tape, or maybe it requires you to be at the casting director's office, or maybe it's an open audition as it once was for me. Now, here are some tips that will help you select a monologue that best suits you. Now, select a monologue that is light-hearted. Selecting a funny or maybe a comedic monologue usually helps. Selecting a monologue that is age appropriate, or maybe that showcases your age range, or maybe a range that you can convincingly play as an actor. This helps casting directors envision you in specific roles. Number 3, selecting a monologue that is short. Casting directors usually, by 5 seconds of you being on stage, they have already made a decision, so make this count. Number 4, select a monologue that showcases your range as an actor. Number 5, select a monologue that isn't that popular, or maybe a monologue that casting directors don't usually see. That will help your case. Now that you've selected a smashing monologue, how do we make sure that you smash it right back? There are many methods that actors use in order to bring their characters to life. Some of these methods are the Stanislavski's method, Meisner Technique, method acting technique, just to name a few. But in this video, let's just keep things simple. There is this method of mine that I think I discovered while I was doing research. This technique is the use of 5 W's and H. What? You don't know that? But let's just keep it simple. It's nothing but a series of questions: who, what, where, when, why, and how. By using these questions, you can be able to understand your character, understand their backgrounds, their motivations, and just their overall personality. Let me just give you an example. Who is your character? Understand their background, personality, and motivations. Who are the other characters in the scene? Explore your relationship with them and how it influences your character's actions. What is the objective of your character in the scene? What do they want to achieve or convey? What is the central conflict or event driving the scene? Identify the key actions and moments. Now we go to the question, when? When does this scene take place? Consider the time of the day, the historical context, or any significant timing that may impact your character's choices. We go to where. Where does the scene take place? Understand the physical environment, as it can affect your character's behavior and interactions. Where is your character emotionally or mentally? Explore their landscape, how it informs their actions and reactions. Just listen to Johnny Depp on how he developed his character Jack Sparrow for Pirates of the Caribbean.
You look for a back history, you base it on, it could be anything, and with Captain Jack, again, the cartoons, the Pepe Le Pew, it's like making a soup, it's ingredients, it's just ingredients. There's some Pepe Le Pew in there, there's some Keith Richards in there. there's a bit of I figured this is a guy who's been on the sea for the majority of his life. Quite possibly his brains may have been scrambled a bit by the sun. And also I thought that he'd been on the sea for so long that he had his sea legs, but when he got on land, he just didn't have his land legs. So he could never quite stand still.
Why? Why is your character in the situation that he or she is in? Understand their motivations, desires, fears, and what drives their choices. Why is this scene so important in the larger story or character arc? Connect the scene's significance to the overall narrative. How? How does your character express themselves physically and emotionally? Explore their unique mannerisms, gestures, vocal qualities, and other emotional states. How does your character relate to other characters? Explore the dynamics, power dynamics, and emotional connections in the scene.
Using these questions and delving deep into the 5 W's and H will help you as an actor understand the relationships that your character has, understand their emotions, understand their motives, and also what is expected of you as an actor in order to deliver a performance that is just totally sublime. Please do me this solid. If you are liking this content so far, hit that like and that subscribe button. But now I bet your question is, how do I get these damn lines into my head? Relax, I got you covered like a surprise.
Shout out to Acting Career Center for some of these tips, which include first reading your script at least 3 times to understand what it is about. Use a spare or a separate book to rewrite the lines in the script, going through them line by line. For example, if a line in a script starts with, "Life is but a moment, it comes and goes, and when you blink, you are in the coffin." You start by writing that line up until you go through the last line of the script. This will help you with reflecting on the lines you have just read 3 times, and it also helps with something known as active experiencing. In your spare book, use each letter or initial in a sentence together with its punctuation. This is how you would do it.
Now that you have selected your monologue, understood your character, and also you have your lines in your head, what is next? Well, now it's time to act, baby. It's time to act. Let's get right into it. I remember I was watching the Kominsky method. Cindy there talks to a young actor about performing a monologue. This lesson that I came up with from watching that episode was, it's fine, you can imitate Denzel, you can imitate everyone that you like, but remember, the world has already got a Denzel, so you have to bring that unique you into a character. Bring your mannerisms, bring your understanding of the particular character. If, for example, you are doing Denzel from Training Day, you just have to come up with an interesting way that you as an actor would do it, and not the way that Denzel would do it.
So now we learn how to use our voice and body to convey emotion and engage our audience. Expressive communication is key to a compelling monologue. You can do that by using these 3 things: breaking a monologue into 3 segments with distinct emotional tones. Use a higher pitch for excitement, enthusiasm, or agency, and a lower pitch for seriousness or sadness or intensity. Pick one spot in the monologue to express a certain emotion. Use gestures and movement. Now we go back to our technique of the 5 W's and H, but we focus on the H. Understanding your character also helps you with understanding how your character would behave, say when in love, shocked, or even insane. How does your character express themselves physically and emotionally?
We have worked so hard we are now having only one thing that is remaining, which is how do we make sure that we cement our names in the Hall of Fame of performing monologues? How do we make sure that our performance is memorable? Join me as we untangle this one last thing that will just certify you as one of the dopest actors to have ever existed in the face of this earth.
To make sure that you leave a lasting impression of your monologue or audition, make sure you follow all of these tips that have been shared in this video, including monologue selection, understanding your character, acting techniques, memorization tips, and also handling your nervousness.
Before now we just conclude on this video, please tell me in the comment section, what are some of your techniques that you use when preparing for a role? Or maybe alert me if this has been helpful for you, and what are some of the techniques that you're going to apply. Let's make this a conversation. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so very much for joining me in today's session, and I hope you learned a lot and you got to pick some few gems. Oh, but they won't make you sick though. They will make your life precious. So with that being said, it's Robust, the brother with the focus, saying that we will build this thing together, brick by brick, like we constructors, because together we will break a leg because we're awesome actors.